In a world with increasingly unrealistic expectations, have you ever felt like you're maybe just not smart enough? That you're maybe just maybe, not strong enough? Are you struggling to figure out why your relationship is going downhill?
My name is Jonathan Vanderveen, and in this video, we're going to go through the concept of a growth mindset and how it can help you achieve your goals. Let's get started. First things first, what is a growth mindset? When it comes to success, your mindset is your secret weapon. There are two types of mindsets. One that embraces challenges and setbacks as opportunities for growth, and another that oftentimes avoids these obstacles for fear of failing. What I'm describing to you is the difference between a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. These two opposing outlooks were pioneered by Dr. Carol Dweck, a Stanford University professor, in her book, Mindset. Today, we're going to explore the benefits of adopting a growth mindset, some of the obstacles that you might face, and how to overcome them. What are the benefits of having a growth mindset? Adopting a growth mindset will have impacts on all facets of your life, from becoming a better student to stronger relationship to furthering yourself in your career. All of these are possible with this change. To better understand what it means to have a growth mindset, let's take a look at little Johnny. Let's be transported back to the life of little Johnny. This is what I am affectionately calling my younger self. As a young lad, he rarely listened to the advice he got from anybody else in his life. From parents, to teachers, to older siblings, nobody could tell him what to do. It got to the point that he would get upset when people asked him to change the way he did anything at all, even if it was clear to see that he was wrong. This unfortunate attitude led him to throw a ball of burrs into the hair of a girl he had a crush on. And that's exactly why she pinched him so hard he started crying. He definitely deserved it, as she lost a lot of her hair when they tried to cut them out. If he had listened to the teachers who so boldly recommend he do literally anything else, they may still have been together to this day. We often find ourselves in situations where there are challenges or we are receiving criticism from somebody in our life. It's often a lot easier to just disregard the advice that they give you instead of taking it to heart and thinking about why they're telling you this. Even if you don't agree with this person, it's so important to hear them out and listen to what they have to say. Thinking selfishly for a moment, if your boss gave you a recommendation on how to deliver a presentation better or how to change the way that you're doing something, taking that advice to heart and having the conversation with them can potentially lead to a promotion. It also enables you to learn a new skill that's going to benefit you indefinitely. Let's move on to some of the obstacles that you may face when you're looking to adopt a growth mindset. One of the biggest obstacles is the societal expectations that all of us face about what success looks like. Everything needs to be fast-paced, and if you're not moving and growing and doing something at every second of the day, you could fall behind. The influences of the people that we surround ourselves with have such a large impact on our lives. If you find yourself surrounded by people who have a very fixed and closed mindset, it makes it a lot more difficult to adopt the growth mindset that we're trying to achieve. Another difficult thing is all of the pressure that we face from social media. We see people's profiles on Instagram, on TikTok, on all these places, and we assume that their lives are perfect. When we start to compare ourselves to others, it becomes a lot more difficult for us to continue going because we feel like we're just not good enough. It's important to remember people are at different stages of their learning journey, and that is okay. Another big one that applies to you students out there is the standardization of how we are expected to learn. If the traditional way of learning doesn't work for you, then you're deemed as dumb, and that itself is dumb. It's not realistic for everybody to learn the same way. And if you believe that the system is correct and you're not smart, then that's going to be a huge inhibitor to adopting a growth mindset. One of the first things you can do is replace the word failing with learning. This is a great way to begin, as it directly relates to what Carol Dweck tells us, that we have to view challenges as opportunities for learning. I will admit that sometimes when I'm having a bad day, I will sarcastically say, "Oh, I'm so happy to be learning," when things are really not going my way. This said, I am still keeping a growth mindset despite the fact that I am mocking it just a touch. In a world where everybody's lives seem basically perfect, it can be difficult for us to understand that, in reality, they aren't. Now, I fully realize it's not realistic to ask everybody to just quit social media. It's an incredibly important part of how we interact with each other. What we can do is view these social media platforms for what they really are, though, a highlight reel of everybody's lives. As you begin to understand and actually accept this fact, it becomes so much easier to deal with the challenges that you face in your life. Another tactic is to stop seeking the approval of others. I am definitely guilty of falling prey to this one, as it's really nice to be recognized when you do something well. What I'm telling you is that when you prioritize getting the approval of somebody else over actually learning something, you're sacrificing your own potential for growth. On the topic of growth, another way to promote growing this mindset is to celebrate when other people are successful. Speaking from experience, if you truly show interest and genuine concern when your friends are successful and your family and your coworkers, and you share that with them, it's such an incredible way to grow and bond with that person. Before we wrap things up, let's do a little recap of what we've learned today. If someone offers you advice, you should most definitely take the time to understand where they're coming from, even if you don't agree at first. Secondly, there are lots of obstacles when you're looking to develop a growth mindset. The important thing is that you are patient with yourself and work to implement these slowly over time so you don't get discouraged. Number 3, be aware of societal expectations, the influence of the people that you surround yourself with, to the standardization of how we're expected to learn. Again, patience is the key. Lastly, there are a ton of ways that you can work to develop a growth mindset. My honest recommendation would be to try substituting the word failing with the word learning. And remember, your mindset is the key to unlocking your true potential. If you felt like you learned something from this video, be sure to like and subscribe for more content exactly like this. And be sure to let me know what methods you try and incorporate into your own life. It's gonna be a great day. You got this.